cold hard truth about every card that people think is good against Tron in Modern. Every card that people think is good against Tron in Modern is much worse against Tron than people think it is. Alright, this is the Humans deck list from my website. As for lots of the little details in this deck list, the only one I kind of have an opinion on is Sage. Just realized I was only 500 from the crown in the spirit of how we built this relationship. This should go towards Narset. Thank you, Goalie, and welcome to the royalty of the channel. I appreciate the support. I have Rec Sage over Night of Autumn as a conscious choice because this one's a little bit easier to cast post-board. Past that, there are a ton of small variations in... Modern Humans, and little things you can do to hedge different matchups in different directions. And I am by no means an expert on this archetype, and I'm sure someone somewhere has written details about what the different cards do that could hedge in different directions. But this is a list we played last time. It felt very reasonable, so I'm going to play it again. No, this is actually the Humans list from my website, Green Sky. Has the value of collection on MTGO gone down since the MTGA beta release? The prices on Magic Online change constantly. Here's a really important statistics lesson today, Chad. I'm not even teaching a stats class, and I'm gonna teach you something. Correlation does not equate to causation. Say it with me, class. Correlation does not equate to causation. All right, good. Did we learn something? Hopefully we learned something. If you don't know what those two things mean, I'd encourage you to Google them. Because it's very important. Because that's something that people miss all of the time. It's something that even news media does that a lot too. People all constantly equate a correlation with one thing causing the other. And it's just not how things work. One land Aether Vial. But Jeff, how do I now explain completely unrelated things? I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. You're not, I am saying it with a grin on my face, but I am very much aware that it's a serious issue. Anybody who's played Modern has a hatred for Tron. You know who hates Tron? People who have played Modern. Was that a good draw? I think that was a good draw. People hate Tron because it's a very good Modern deck that's also incredibly difficult to interact with. Never forget, Modern is the only format where there are 50 playable archetypes and everyone hates all of them. You can find my preferred deck list for things like Tron and lots of other Modern decks on my website. Tron is in the proven section. Why do I have to click to put this trigger on the stack every upkeep? Alright, so I want to cast this Thalia's Lieutenant, and then with its trigger on the stack, I want to vial in Meddling Mage. I think I'm naming Walking Ballista here because it's their removal spell. All right, so we're done here. Excellent. Got a couple of gut shots, got a couple of Rec Sages, got a couple of Staticasters. Gonna trim some itty bitty bugle boys. Phantasmal Image is probably a good cut if I'm expecting them to be playing Walking Ballista, right? What do we think of this? Seems reasonable. Buglers and Images out, Sages, Staticasters, gut shots in. Yeah, I know what floor trading is. I don't really have an opinion on it. Floor trading became much better for the common person when smartphones came into existence. I don't know why people want to watch. Occasionally, people want to give me money to watch me win matches of Magic, Brian. It's really weird, I know. Holy Flab, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Memes are more important than wins. I don't know. Losing 20 matches in a day is kind of tough for the old self-esteem sometimes. I think this is a champion on 1 and a double hierarch turn 2. This feels kind of bad if they have ballista on. They have ballista here and they trade it for my champion, but I think this is the right sequence. This gut shot's great. Is it possible for someone to pay to cut the line to cut into being played today? Today you cannot, actually. Unless you want to pay a very large amount of money. All of the decks, I've been backed up because of SCG Con and the holiday stuff going on, so my deck queue is pretty backed up at the moment. So all the decks that are being played today have 100 points on them. So they've all either been waiting or have a lot of money behind them. Gut shot your dork, attack you for 5. Go. Your move, Yugi boy, this is all I got. For people that do have more money than sense and you want to cut a cut, you have to double a cut to cut it. So it's $200 to cut someone who's put up $100. So we keep things fair and balanced here in Hoaglandia. For the right amount of dollars, you can make anything happen, but for certain things that costs a lot of dollars. That's a lot of walking ballistas. That is an incredible amount of walking ballistas. Well, gut shot, please. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Woof. I mean, I do get to, like, I do have them on a pretty quick clock here, right? How much to have you play the mono green Stompulus in Arena in a standard league on MTGO? How much for me to play standard on Magic Online instead of Arena? Is that your question? If that's your question, the answer is $300. Nah, that's not true. I'd play standard on Arena for standard on Magic Online for $200. Wow, Arcbound Worker's a pretty good one there. I think we're probably dead at this point. Yeah, pretty dead. Yeah, Magic Online's unwatchable if you don't know every card in the format. And even if you do know every card in the format, it's still kind of unwatchable. You have to be really invested in Magic and the format that's being played for Magic Online to be watched. Yeah, Rad, we were still feeling things out at that point. If I'm being honest, I set that price because I didn't think anybody would pay it. And then people started paying it and it started making for worse content, so we had to readjust. This hand is really good. Yeah, exactly, Dinner Bandit. And like, Magic Online has so much dead space side to side that it doesn't make sense to not put it up there, I don't think. Auto tapper is the auto tapper is gonna be things like this. Lots of utility lands is interesting. It's like how well is that gonna work? I wonder if I'm supposed to like play Thalia out there, so that way this gives a counter to more things. Maybe that's the case. Okay, maybe I'm supposed to have played Thalia this turn. So I think I want to actually just play this Unclaimed Territory. No, I'm actually going to hold on to this because I might need to name Elf if I draw Rec Sage. And rather than crack this, I think I'd rather get a point of damage in. I'm like, with this Reflector Mage here, whatever they play next turn is gonna get tempoed off a cliff. Their start was really slow here. They skipped really slow starts, both of these games. Modern's brutal and quick because the games are often really short. There's not time for you to stumble. A lot of games of Modern, like this game, for instance, this is like turn 3, and this game's basically been decided already. Okay, Arcbound Ravager is a really good one here. That is a card that could potentially save them. All right, so do I want to try and bounce Hangerback Walker here? Maybe. I think so. I think I try and bounce Hangerback Walker and see what they do. Yeah, unlike other places on the internet, if you spread whispers here that aren't linked to evidence, I'm gonna time you out. There's enough idiots spewing nonsense online. Don't do that here. So they have another Ravager and an Ink Moth. I think I'm actually dead here. Hey, Dern, thanks for the 313 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Like, I can't attack into this Arcbound Ravager profitably. Yeah, Humans is definitely a tempo deck. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Yay, playing good decks and dying. This is why people often just play bad decks. You can play plenty of good decks and still die in this format. There's a lot of other things that are brutal. And I think yeah. Sure, but how do I win the game? I don't have a way to ever actually attack through anything that's going on there because like the ground is completely dominated. Yeah, if Cavern of Souls would have just been Besage You without the life loss, it would have been fine. Even if it came into play untapped, like if you just compare Besage You to Cavern of Souls, it's comical how much better Cavern of Souls is. Awkward. Basics are awkward. I think this hand is still a keep, though. It's like Champion into Thalia into Lieutenant. If we draw a green source or a vial, it's quite fantastic. Hey, Duggernaut, thank you for the 12-month resub. I appreciate the entire year. I knight thee, defender of the realm. Go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. Fold into one with the half a year. Welcome back. I like that the community offers up training whenever there's a new mod. They're like, no, you gotta practice, you gotta get your reps in. The mighty 1/2 Tarmogoyf hath entered the battlefield. Stomping Ground, Basic Mountain Tarmogoyf. Some kind of green red or Naya Broom. Twitch, baby. Jackal Girl, thank you for the tier 3 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Jiru! Thank you for the half a year. Thanks for shipping those Bezo bucks this way again this month. I was just gonna ask if you wanted the usual with the tier 3. Got it. The usual? The usual. Alright, Noble Lieutenant's not bad. See if they have a bull tier or not. It looks like Naya stuff could be a Helix here. Opponent fetching some white up. Helix on the champion would crank the Goyf to a 3/4, which stonewalls the Thalia, unfortunately. I could theoretically be Searing Blades. That's pretty uncommon out of control decks or mid-range decks. Dramoka's Command. Okay. That's not one on the radar. Am I willing to trade my champion for this Tarmogoyf? I don't think so. I think with just like running lieutenants the next couple turns, I'm fine with this. Because like the Tarmogoyf had 2 damage marked on it from the Thalia fight, so I could attack my 4/4 and offer to trade, but I don't think that trade is profitable at this point for me. Dryad Arbor. Woof. Ah, the old Relic of Progenitus Tarmogoyf combo deck. Excellent. A true modern classic. Modern is, in fact, nothing but combo decks, chat. Attack for 8. They only have 1 card left. This Champion of the Parish. There's a good chance they have Path to Exile in their deck, right? So if they don't find a Path soon, though, this Champion of the Parish is going to put them under the Abyss very quickly and run them down. Relic me, baby. It was really annoying that my opponent blocked with their basic forest. Moto must be bugged. This application just riddled with bugs. Thanks, Jackal Girl. It's really sweet playing a tournament from home. it was sweet getting to play a tournament and make content out of it. That was the really big takeaway. Like, being able to play a tournament and make content out of that tournament was just a fantastic experience overall. Making money's an okay upside, but like not actively losing money because I had to stop making content was another upside too. Like, even if I didn't cash the tournament, I didn't like take a huge loss, right? Because like, for instance, even though we had people very generously contribute, you know, the $1,500 to get me to SCGCon over the summer, I still lost money on that trip once you factor in all the travel costs and then the opportunity cost I lost from not streaming for those 5 days. Do I play Auriok Champion out here? Do I play this card? It doesn't block Tarmogoyf, but it doesn't die to red removal. I don't know. I kind of like all the cards that are in my deck. I'm just gonna click submit. Yeah, I agree, Dinner Bandit. It felt like a hybrid of the two. I just didn't leave my hotel room for like a day and a half, the real Julian. So in the dark with these mages, do I just like name removal spells like lightning bolts and helixes and stuff like that? Probably bolt to start, right? Like they're certainly on 4 of that card. Like, I guess they had Relic and Tarmogoyf, so I shouldn't say anything with certainty. Oh, that card's rude. The Grim Lavamancer Relic of Progenitus deck. Got it. Just mono relics. This is probably out of the sideboard, right? This probably isn't in the main deck. Do I want to play Meddling? I don't think I want to play the mage out here. I think I'm actually going to Reflector Mage the Grim Lavamancer and then Meddling Mage it next turn. Or they not have a land that's really good for me. Man, I forget what deck my buddy was playing, but I remember watching him play a tournament one time. One of my buddies playing a tournament, and his opponent went turn 2 Rest in Peace, turn 3 Knight of the Reliquary, turn 4 Kitchen Finks, and then ended up losing even though they drew their hate card because their hate card like turned off all the other cards in their deck. Sure. So I'm gonna name Grim Lavamancer here. I'm gonna leave this at 2 for a turn, I think. Yeah, we are. All right, so I'm gonna do this. Into this. into Vial in this on this. Into attack you for 4. And even if they go land anger here, I like kill them next turn, right? With the Thalia's Lieutenant. This still enters as a human. The image still pumps this up. I've submitted a deck to the queue. You mean you've used the form? So I will, after you submit a deck using the Google form, I will email you letting you know if it's a deck that I'm willing to play and add to the queue. So I don't take all deck submissions that go through the queue, and right now I'm actually kind of not taking actual everything right now too, because I'm trying not to add a ton of stuff that I'm about to take a little bit. But like I'm gonna be off Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the holidays. So hey McCullough, thanks for the $20 tip. I appreciate that. I think that's for we talked about something or other. Where's my log here? Blue Red Thingbird, thanks for the support. Yeah, it seems great. I was thinking more along the lines of playing around the Phantasmal Image getting destroyed. What kills the Phantasmal Image that doesn't kill my actual lieutenant? I am actually going to be live on Tuesday. Thanks for the content. Realized I didn't do my part in donating yet to charity. Thanks for using the charity chair there, STTR. I appreciate it. So my extended family does stuff on Christmas Eve and not Christmas Day. So Christmas Day, we're just like opening gifts with the kids Christmas morning. And then I plan to stream late morning, early afternoon on Tuesday, on Christmas Day. Sure, but what targets the image that doesn't kill something else? There's always one. All right, so our hand's actually pretty okay here, depending on what their hand looks like. So if we see a Wormcoil Engine, we could be in trouble. If I'd have been on the play, we'd be in an absurd spot here, but I wasn't, so we're not. Most of my extended family doesn't really understand what I do for a living. My grandfather didn't, like, my normal go-to for, like, explaining what I do is, like, because a lot of people don't know what Twitch is still, but, like, my normal explanation is, like, well, you know what YouTube is, right? And they go, oh, yeah, I know what YouTube is. And it's like, well, it's kind of like that, but live. And my grandfather didn't even know what YouTube was, which made explaining what my job is just impossible. Yeah, the extra ramp creature was really good. Well, that was a fun and interesting game of Modern that we just played there. I'm gonna go ahead and concede and move on to the next one here. Just lie to them. That's funny. When I used to travel a lot to play tournament Magic, my wife would just tell people that I played poker. When people would ask her at work what I did for a living, she'd be like, "Oh, he plays poker." It's like. I work for a pirate TV company that only does live shows. I think I trimmed this. This is a Rec Sage matchup. No, they don't. The content producer, they don't know. That's like not English to them. It's probably more closer to like a talk show host, right? Like talk shows probably close-ish. An educational TV show. I don't know 100% what we're doing here. Well, now it's actually easier for her to explain what I do because everybody has smartphones, right? So like if they ask what I do, she can just like pull me up on her smartphone and be like, "This is my husband. He's obnoxious, but he gets paid to do this." The easiest way to explain what I do to people is that I work a job that is primarily tip-based on the internet in a live streaming service, and my audience is predominantly men ages 25 to 30. And there's no way anybody could possibly get confused as to what exactly I do based on that description. All right, you know. And obviously, like, the number I just listed there, there's people outside that demographic. Like, that demographic, I think, is, like, only about half-ish of my viewers. But, like, half-ish of my viewers do fall into that early to late 20s, somewhere in there. Like, that decade is a large chunk of my viewers. Based on algorithmic data. What are your thoughts on Liliana Hereticular in Green Blackrock? I don't understand what problem Green Blackrock has that playing that card would solve. No, I don't think Eldrazi Tron's very good. I think if you're going to go through the trouble of assembling Tron, you should just, like, put good cards into play. So, they're not going to have Tron for 2 more turns. I just, like, double Lieutenant and kill them, right? That's the plan. This is my turn 3. Yeah, get him. Get him. It's good clean turn 4 lethal. Where's my old man yells at clouds emoji? Yeah, it was really sweet, Punishmore. I am super excited to flesh that archetype out with Breeding Pool. I'm super excited to flesh that out with Breeding Pool. I don't have any strong opinions on Bugler or no Bugler. It's fine. It's good against... Here, okay, so here's my take on Bugler. Fine, I lied. I'm a Magic player. I have opinions. Magic player has opinions. News at 11. My take on Bugler is that Bugler is good against the decks that good players like to play in Modern. For whatever reason, good Magic players like to continually register interactive decks in Modern, and Bugler's really good against the interactive decks in Modern. So having a card in your deck to make your deck better in the matches where you're going to be facing better players on average is probably worthwhile. They still dead here. This adds 2 power to the tables. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm putting them to 1 this turn. Modern is easier when you play the busted cards. I agree. Yeah, like I said when we started this league, there is a ton of small variation to the threes that you can play and the sideboard slots that you can pick in a deck like this. And there's lots of people that have lots of experience with the archetype, that have lots of very strong opinions based on facts and feelings, and I'm sure most of them are great. But I don't really have strong opinions on this archetype. I haven't played it a ton. This hand is very reasonable with a second land and still plays Magic if it misses, so I'm going to keep this. This hand has the tools to beat Tron, potentially, if we draw some lands. But I drew my sideboard cards, chat. How could I possibly be losing? I drew my sideboard cards. I mean, I know they have Wormcoil and Thragtusk. Just like, again, sideboarding is a one-to-one process. So if you want to tell me I should have a card in my deck right now that's currently in my sideboard, you should also tell me what I should be cutting for it and why I should be cutting it. You should cut all the humans and replace them with spell cards. That's not even true. The Bant Spirits deck has basically become bad humans. They're playing stupid things like what's it called? They're playing cards like, they got Walking Ballista off of this, which is why I'm conceding. They're playing Reflector Mage and stuff like that. And they're like boarding into Thalia. They're just like boarding into flashy humans. It's like you have Spell Queller instead of Mantis Rider. I guess that's not strictly true. The Spirits deck does have some Bogle straws that are really good. If you ever find a Spirits player that wants to tell you they're really smart and thin, just tell them that they're playing Bogles with wings. That'll knock them down a peg or two. It's the reason why their deck is good. It's because their deck puts 2 lords into play and then they have Bogles that fly. It's not a smart thin deck. It's a aggressive linear deck like every other good deck in Modern. Humans needs more. Honestly, this tribe doesn't feel that good. These games we've played so far have not been impressive. Like, having played this matchup from the... Like, this is the second time we played against Scales. Having played this matchup from the Scales side, I think the Scales deck is pretty far ahead. Kuhuin, thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Anybody else appreciate that we've played against... We've played against 3 Ancient Stirrings decks in 4 matches in this league. Welcome to Modern. Enjoy your stay. This is also the first time I've cast Mantis Rider today, though, so there could be a correlation between how good this deck feels and how many Mantis Riders we've been drawing for sure. Welcome back, Tron player. That is a Llanowar Reborn. Steel Overseer. Do I need to take a second and Reflector Mage this? I only miss 2 points of damage to stop and Reflector Mage that. I think I'm gonna take a hot second and Reflector Mage the Steel Overseer here. The card gets real scary real fast otherwise. I got my tier 3 deck submitted. I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to tell you here or not. No, I'll see it on the submission form. The forum notifies me, Flab. Thank you for the support and thanks for putting in the form. Helps me stay organized. That way I can sit down and respond to all deck submissions in one bulk instead of doing them piecemeal. Yep. Look at how scared the kitty is of the big broken colorless creature that's bound to show up. Have we played Bring to Light Scape Shift recently? We played a weird version. We played a version that didn't have remand in it, but I don't know that the remand version's that much better. That dark type's really clunky and awkward. I think Death Shadow is great. I think Death Shadow is a fantastic mix of busted and interactive. That's probably something we could dip into again, goalie. There's a lot of good hate cards in those colors. So I'm going to play Mantis Rider into Thalia's Lieutenant here. Just try and get them dead in the air. Their last card is the Steel Overseer that I sent back to the Beyond. I'm really happy they didn't kill my Noble Hierarch. So next turn, they can pay 4 and put this to 5 counters and then kill one of my Mantis Riders, but then they're going to be dead in the air, so that's not a good line for them. To bump red, white, metal, definitely. Thank you, Beetle. Is the modern queue in a slow? Yeah, I'm not taking any more $10 modern decks, at least until after the holidays. If you want to add some modern decks to the queue, I'd do them for tier 3 subs or $25+ donations. Need to figure out. I don't want a bunch of decks to just sit in the queue over the holidays while I'm gonna put some exclusive things up, but the queue is definitely gonna be a little bit slower than normal, so I don't want too many things to sit in there. The donate button is leading to a dead link. How about this one? That seems like a bad thing. Oh, it looks alive here, goalie. Maybe your internet had a hiccup. Thanks everyone for hanging out this morning, by the way. Welcome. We had a little over 700 people here in chat. Thanks for supporting some modern content this morning. I want to keep this. You keep most one-land Aether Vial hands with this deck, and like, I've got Gutshot and Wreck Sage here too, so let's do it. It's a pretty good start for the opponent. Woof. So we've got sideboard cards, but Storm Count was 3 on the other side of the board, so you are cute. Thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Is the Lone Pox deck you are playing later? Yes. Yeah, it is the Hakan Lone Pox deck. I am, oh, they don't have another land. No, I don't really look at spoilers. I'm like the Grinch who hated spoiler season. It's just impossible to evaluate cards without knowing the whole picture of the format. So I usually wait. So I can't beat Hangerback Walker. I also can't beat Walking Ballista. So like, which do I pick? Just like flip a coin. Just like flip a coin. What do I do? Hey, Demox with the sub gifter roonies. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Everybody who's been given a shovel, welcome to the Hooglandia draft. I think we name Walking Ballista because Walking Ballista could kill my Meddling Mage. And then if I draw a second Meddling Mage, I can name Hangerback Walker with that. Stir, little kitty cat. Stir, stir, stir. Judge Cradles are gonna stay at $1,000. Oh, MTG Finance. Please sack your Arcbound Ravager. Please sack your Arcbound Ravager. Please sack your Arcbound Ravager. Rats! Rats! They took the conservative line, chat. They took the conservative... They could have sacked the Ravager to itself to try and modular over. What's the worst that could happen? What could he like, gut shot me? You know, what's that? That's crazy talk. Nobody plays gut shot. The MTG prices pretty much only go in one direction. Hey, I'll take some info with me on the way out the door, but I'm not going to show them Gutshot or Rex Sage here. This might be the last one, actually, right? Yeah, we're 1 and 2, so it's either this either going to be the last game, or we're going to have one more match after. I would love to play first. This is an excellent Hearthstone hand. Unfortunately, this is Magic the Gathering, so we need to mulligan looking for a land. This hand is not very good. It's not aggressive. It doesn't have another land in it. This hand has no lands in it. This is a functional 4-card hand. I'm going to keep my 3rd land on top so I can play this Champion of the Parish on 3. Or Mantis Rider on 3. Knight of Autumn can be hard to cast, Burgle. And this deck doesn't really need that much help against burn. No, I made a conscious choice to leave Rex Sage in. This deck struggles to cast Phantasmal Image occasionally. Like, obviously there's gonna be plenty of games where you can play the knight, but Mar, do build around. I resubmitted the deck list to you on the Google forum. Perfect, goalie. Thanks for the support. I think anybody who's trying to metagame Modern is kind of silly. Spirits and Humans are both fine decks. They're both decks that have played to them. They're decks that get run over sometimes. I think both Humans and Spirits are a little bit too far on the interactive side of the scale for what I personally would like to be playing in Modern, but they're definitely decks that you could win with. They're one of the 50 decks that if you ask me, is that a Modern deck that you could play at a tournament? I go, yeah, if that top 8's a tournament, I wouldn't be surprised. So far, we're kind of getting dumpstered. I put Human second today to, like, break up because we, like, kind of had a meme deck to start, and we're going to play 7th land Belcher third. But Humans has failed to deliver. We had a bunch of rough matchups in a row. The Scales matchup is pretty tough for this deck. The Tron matchup doesn't seem stellar either. I mean, honestly, we often 3-2 with the Belcher deck, so, like, you know, maybe. Bump, anything you care for Ypres Vision. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, all the rest of the decks today have potential to do better than what this thing's done. Twitch Prime subs do not get to bump anything. So tier 2 subs and tier 3 subs. Tier 2 subs get to bump something. Tier 3 subs can bump something or add a deck. Tier 1 and Twitch Prime subs can just add decks for a lower rate. Hey, thanks for the tip, Slayer. Put this to Grishel brand and floop all the pigs. Will do, Slayer. I appreciate it. Oh, well, there goes our chance of winning that game. I am Intern. Thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. I appreciate it. Craft triggers on my creatures too. Oh, so they have nothing. Okay, so I probably still can't even attack with this as a 3/3. All right, they break off for a hot second here, and the top of our deck is kind. This could be okay. We mulliganed to 4 this game, right? This is a 4-card hand. We kept Champion, Mantis Rider, and then, yep. Thanks, Signal. Yep. All right. Game went from close to unwinnable real fast. Got it. Yeah, that's it. A system like that would be nice, Brad, but that's just like, it's probably like a 5-figure project to get something like that coded. Opponent's deck is named Hardened Scales, and they drew Scales, and our deck is Humans, and we drew Humans. That is fair. Both of our decks do have their namesakes in play. Caleb D won the tournament with the asterisk that he won on a deck list error because the tournament setup wasn't handled all digitally. If the tournament setup had been handled in a better way, he would have lost in the finals. It was a really awkward end of the day. I mean, he played like, Caleb's a great Magic player and he played well throughout the tournament, but like, the fact that just look, there's a thread. It was a really it was a mess. No, yeah, I'd take a win too. $3,000 is $3,000, you know, ship it. Caleb's opponent wanted to change their deck list after they submitted the initial one, and they thought they had changed it properly, but it didn't go through or something like that. Twitch sponsored the 10K, Brad. It was straight through Twitch. We never had best of 3 functionality in direct challenges, Gorgia. That's not that they removed best of 3 functionality from the ladder, but we never had best of 3 functionality in direct challenges. All right, so we're dead. I guess we're not just dead yet. Getting pretty close though. Wait, does this Walking Ballista enter as a 5/5 here? Does Graft double get 1 from Hardened Scales too? This is a 5/5, right? So I am just dead? Yeah. Alright, I'll take 1 more draw. I have a Rec Sage, but like, if I draw Rec Sage, they kill my Kitesail and or they kill my Champion of Parish, I'm still up a creek, like can't beat this Outbound Ravager. Jay Gross, we literally played Legacy this morning, and I uploaded a Legacy video last week and the week before. So, just as a heads up. And check the YouTube channel. I've uploaded a couple of Legacy things recently. That was disappointing. And that was a reminder of why, when I show up to play Modern, I never register what's ever considered to be the best deck. I always try and show up with a deck that I really enjoy playing. Because while this deck is very reasonable, and lots of iterations of this archetype have been... up and down and all around tournament results, I think it's like just fine as far as everything else in Modern goes. You run goods, you'll be fine. You run bads, you're not going to have a good time. So, yeah, I'd encourage you to check the YouTube, especially if you prefer a very specific type of content, Jay Gross, because I always archive stuff there and sort it all nicely, so it's easy to find. Yeah, obviously, my 1/3 here means that this deck is unplayable, and you have to get rid of it if you own it. Obviously, it has nothing to do with bad beats. I mean, like... I'm just gonna...